Welcome to the first of some tutorials on how to use Autodesk Fusion. It's a relatively new package, but it's based on the old Autodesk products of Inventor and works beautifully as a 3D drawing package. I'll just show you some areas on the screen that we need to just understand before we keep going. We're looking at a 2D space at the moment, but there is a third axis that's coming up, as we can see from over here. And if we choose one of these different sides, you'll see we'll switch around, and that's all set up at the moment in an isometric way. We can move around in terms of free orbit by using this button down the bottom, which allows us to scroll around and get crazy looking things like that. And so it's a good idea to actually be sort of set up in a normal sense. So you got just be a little bit careful with 3D orbit when you're using it, and we'll show you how to get out of that now. So if we are to come up here and go new design, it will throw us back into a new place, and then we can concentrate on navigating from this space. Once we have something drawn, it's a lot easier as well. Over on this side we have the browser, and this is important because it's going to start listing all the things that we do here, and we'll come back to edit in there later on. The main toolbars that we will use are Sketch, Create, we can extrude and revolve, sweep, etc. there, and Modify. And then later on we'll get onto some assembly and constructing planes and things in more complex drawings. But for the moment, what we'll do is we'll start a new sketch by going Sketch from here and then create a new sketch. Now you always need to create a new sketch in Fusion and 3D programs, and you'll notice now that it says it's going to ask us which plane we should sketch from. So I'll just choose the bottom plane, and then what it will do is it will flick us into a plan view or a top view of that plane. And the first thing I'll do is like a 2-point rectangle maybe, and I should always, as a general rule, probably start at 0, 0 so you know where things are, and then you can avoid those issues that you have when you have 3D orbit, etc. So I'm just going to draw a sketch from here, and I don't really care how big it is, and this is the key to drawing in Fusion and other 3D packages. The drawing itself that you do is, and I'll just hit enter to stop that, the drawing itself that you put down is not what concerns you. The dimensions are actually what concern you. So the dimensions drive the drawing rather than the traditional drawing method of drawings driving the dimension. And this is what parametric modeling is all about at its core. So if I double click on that dimension now, I get to change it to 30, and you can see how it drives the drawing. So I've made one side 30. Now I'll do another sketch dimension, which we get over here. And we're going to click on that line and let go, and then click outside, and you'll see that's 55 millimeters. So if I change that to 65 now, the drawing itself will get bigger. Now that we've got two dimensions on it, this is actually constrained, and once it's constrained, and you'll see these little symbols here, they are the constraint symbols, and they are telling us that this is all constrained and it's bounded. We can now actually think about doing an extrusion. So the next thing is to come to Sketch and Create, and come down to Extrude, and you'll see that now it flicks us over into a 3D space, and then we select the area that we wish to extrude, and you'll see this panels come over on the right here, and the arrow goes up, or you can drag the arrow down, or you can drag it up, and then you can type in the distance that you want it to go. So if I wanted to go 32 millimeters high, and you can see here from the profile plane up, etc. And then I click OK. Then I've made my first model that's got a measurement at the bottom and 30 high. And one of the key things to remember is that you can come back over here now to this browser panel. You can turn on Sketch 1, and if I highlight Sketch 1, that's the original sketch that I did. And if I want to change something, I can change it in there. We'll show you how to do that next time.